I was talking with a retired nurse the other day, a wonderful woman named Margaret who just turned 78. We were watching people walk by in the park, and she said something that really stuck with me. She pointed to a gentleman shuffling along with a walker and whispered, "He didn't get that way from age. He got that way from a mistake I see people making every single day, and they have no idea they're doing it." She told me what it was, and honestly, it changed the way I think about aging completely. I'm going to share exactly what Margaret told me, because it's something so simple to fix. Yet so many Americans over 60 are unknowingly causing their legs to age years beyond the rest of their body. Stay with me, because fixing this one thing could be the difference between walking confidently into a restaurant and feeling like you need to hold on to someone just to get through the parking lot. As we get older, we tend to accept certain things as inevitable. We look in the mirror and see a few more lines on our face. Maybe our hair has turned gray, and we accept that as a natural part of the journey. But when our legs start to feel heavy, when standing up from a chair becomes a project that requires a little groan, or when we start looking at stairs with a sense of dread, we often just call that getting old too. And that's the trap. That's the lie we've been sold. Your legs don't have to age that fast. There are folks in their 80s hiking trails and dancing at their grandkids' weddings, not because they have some magical genetics, but because they avoided a common daily mistake that quietly steals strength and mobility. Today, we're going to uncover exactly what that mistake is, how to spot if you're doing it right now, and the simple, gentle fix that can start waking your legs back up as soon as tomorrow morning. Let's start by thinking about how we live in our modern American homes. Many seniors don't realize that the biggest threat to our legs isn't a big fall or a sudden injury. It's the slow, silent loss of what's called eccentric strength. That's a fancy term for something very simple. It's the ability of your muscles to control your body weight while they are lengthening. Think about sitting down into a chair. That slow, controlled descent is eccentric strength. Going down a step or walking down a gentle hill is eccentric strength. Now, here's the mistake Margaret was talking about. Most of us, without even thinking, stop doing that motion slowly. We hover over a chair and then just plop down the last few inches, trusting the chair to catch us. We walk down steps sideways. Oh, we hold our breath and just drop our weight onto the next step. Every time we plop, we're telling our leg muscles they're not needed anymore. And muscles, well, they're very obedient. If you don't use them for control, they start to leave. Think of your leg muscles like the brakes on your car. If you only ever used the accelerator and never bothered with the brakes, you wouldn't feel safe driving, would you? Well, when we plop into chairs or collapse onto the couch, we're throwing away our brakes. Your brain starts to rewire itself to protect you, not by making you stronger, but by limiting your range of motion. It actually starts to tighten your hips and ankles to prevent you from doing the very movements that feel unstable. This is why so many of us start shuffling. It's not because our legs are tired. It's because the connection between our brain and the muscles that control a smooth heel-to-toe stride is getting fuzzy. This simple habit of sitting down poorly could be aging your legs faster than anything else, because you're essentially erasing the neural pathway for graceful walking. Now, here's the good news, and I want you to really hear this. It is reversible. The human body has an incredible capacity to bounce back at any age. There's a simple practice that takes just a few moments a day, and it starts with reteaching your body how to sit down. I want you to try a little experiment with me next time you're at home. Walk over to your kitchen chair or your favorite spot on the sofa. Instead of turning around and plopping down, I want you to stand with your back to the seat. Feel the chair touching the back of your calves, and cross your arms over your chest. Now, really slowly, take 4 full seconds to lower yourself down. Don't reach for the armrests. If you need to tap the armrest for balance at the last second, that's perfectly fine. But try to let your legs do the braking work. Feel the burn in your thighs. That's your muscles waking up and saying, "Oh, we're needed again." If that seems scary or impossible right now, do not worry. You can start right from where you are. In fact, one of the best kept secrets for reversing this leg aging is happening while you're completely horizontal. It's called the glute bridge, but I want you to think of it as a hip reawakening. Lie down on your bed or a carpeted floor, bend your knees so your feet are flat, and just gently press your lower back into the surface. Then, squeeze your backside and lift your hips up just a few inches. Hold it there for a slow count of 10. This isn't about pumping out reps like you're at a gym. It's about reminding those sleepy glute muscles, which have been dozing off from sitting, that they are supposed to be the main engines for walking. When our backside muscles go to sleep, our knees and lower back have to take over, and that's why walking feels painful and exhausting. This simple move wakes them up gently. The true transformation, however, doesn't come from just doing a couple of exercises. It comes from catching yourself in the act throughout the day. Many seniors don't realize they have a tell when they're about to age their legs a little bit more. The tell is holding your breath. Start noticing what happens when you stand up from the dinner table or get out of the car. Do you take a breath, hold it, tense up your whole upper body, and then heave yourself up? When you hold your breath and tense, you're skyrocketing your blood pressure for a split second, and you're bypassing your legs completely, using your neck and shoulders to drag yourself upright. The fix is a gentle exhale on the effort. When you stand up, blow out softly like you're blowing out a single candle on a birthday cake. Exhale as your legs straighten. This connects your core to your legs and keeps the pressure in your body calm and steady. As we get older, we also tend to forget about our ankles. But think of your ankles as the steering wheel for your entire body. If they become stiff like a rusted hinge, your brain senses the instability and immediately tells your legs to stiffen up too, making you walk like a robot. There is a beautifully simple ritual you can do while watching the evening news. Just take off your slippers, sit up tall in your chair, and tap your feet. Just lift your toes up and tap them on the floor for about 30 seconds. Then make small circles with your whole foot, 10 times one way, 10 times the other. This sends a wash of fluid and nerve signals up through the legs, telling them it's safe to stay loose and responsive. Of course, it's hard to have active legs when our feet are trapped in the wrong shoes all day. Many of us have retired and think we're doing our feet a favor by wearing soft, fuzzy slippers constantly. But think about it. If you wore thick winter mittens all day, your hands would become clumsy and weak. Our feet become clumsy inside heavily cushioned slippers because they can't feel the floor. You lose what's called proprioception, your brain's map of where you are in space. This leads to scuffing your feet and catching a toe on the rug. A better choice for your indoor hours is a firm-soled shoe that stays on your heel. When your feet can feel the ground properly, the nerves fire faster, and your steps automatically become more sure and steady. It's one of the fastest ways to look and feel younger in your walk. Before we wrap up, I promised you a bonus tip that might just change your evenings. It's something called legs up the wall. It costs nothing and feels wonderful. At the end of the day, find a clear spot on the wall where you can lie down on your back and scoot your hips close to the wall, letting your legs rest straight up against it. Just lie there for 5 minutes. This reverse posture drains the stagnant fluid that has settled in your ankles and calves, reducing that tight, heavy feeling. But more importantly, it places your legs in a completely passive rest, sending a neurological signal of complete safety. For so many of us, our legs are tense all day, bracing for a fall or bracing for pain. This position convinces your nervous system that it's okay to let go of that tension. You'll stand up feeling lighter. So, let's remember what Margaret so wisely pointed out that day. The aging of our legs isn't a countdown clock, it's a conversation. And the mistake of plopping, of holding our breath, of stiffening up, that's just a misunderstanding in that conversation. Today, we corrected the misunderstanding. We learned that controlling the down is just as vital as powering the up. We learned to exhale when we rise, to wake up our sleeping backside muscles, and to free our ankles. You have the power to steady your stride and walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the pavement is there to support them, not trip them. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this brought you a little peace of mind or made you sit up a bit taller, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to join our community of folks choosing to age with strength and grace. I'll see you in the next one. Now, let's talk about what happens when you ignore these signals for too long. Margaret saw it countless times during her years on the hospital floor. A person comes in after a fall, and everyone focuses on the broken bone or the bruising. But the fall didn't start the moment they slipped. The fall started months, sometimes years earlier, when the legs quietly began to lose their ability to react. Here's what many seniors don't realize. Your legs have a built-in reflex, a lightning-fast response system that catches you when you stumble. It's called the righting reflex, and it works only if you keep it sharp. When you shuffle instead of step, when you plop instead of lowering yourself with control, that reflex gets sluggish. Then one day, the edge of a rug or a crack in the sidewalk tests your balance, and your legs don't answer the call fast enough. It's not that you tripped, it's that your legs had forgotten how to respond. The fix for this is so gentle it might surprise you. It's called intentional walking, and it's different from just getting your steps in around the grocery store. Find a clear hallway in your home, maybe 15 feet of space. Walk down that hallway, but do it as if you're trying to walk on thin ice. Place your heel down first, roll through the foot, and feel your big toe pressing into the floor before you pick up the other foot. Walk so slowly that you could balance a book on your head. This isn't about getting your heart rate up. It's about reteaching your brain and your feet to talk to each other clearly. 5 slow minutes of this deliberate walking does more for your stability than an hour of mindless pacing around the house. Your brain starts rewriting the map of where your feet are in space, and that map is what keeps you upright. Another thing Margaret noticed about the folks who kept their leg strength well into their golden years was this: they never stopped reaching. And by reaching, I don't mean ambitious goals. I mean physically reaching for things with their toes. Many seniors don't realize that the simple act of pointing and flexing your foot while sitting keeps the pump in your calves working. Your calves are often called your second heart because they help push blood back up to your actual heart. When we sit for long stretches and our feet hang still, that pump goes quiet. Fluid pools, ankles swell, and the feeling of heaviness sets in. But every time you point your toe and then flex it back, you're squeezing those vessels and sending blood upward. You can do this under the dining table and no one will even know. It's a private little pact between you and your legs that says, I'm not giving up on you. Let's go back to that gentleman Margaret pointed to in the park, the one shuffling with the walker. She told me something else about him that broke my heart. She said he used to come to the park every morning with his wife, and they'd walk a full lap together, arms linked, laughing about something silly. But over the last 2 years, she watched his stride shorten inch by inch. She watched him start looking at the ground instead of ahead. His wife started walking a step ahead of him, then 2 steps, and now she walks ahead alone while he stays on the bench. That's the real cost of this mistake. It's not just about muscles and bones. It's about who you get to walk beside. It's about holding hands on an evening stroll or chasing a grandchild down the driveway to give them one last hug before they drive away. When your legs feel weak, your world shrinks, and the people you love slowly drift to the edges of that shrinking circle. But let me give you hope, because this story doesn't have to end there. That same gentleman, if someone showed him how to sit down slowly, how to exhale when he stands, how to wake up his hips with a simple bridge in bed each morning, could be walking that lap again. It wouldn't take a miracle or a personal trainer or a gym membership. It would take awareness, the same awareness you now have after watching this. Your legs are not wearing out like tires on an old car. They are responding to the signals you give them. Stop sending the signal of plopping and shuffling and holding your breath. Start sending the signal of control and breath and gentle movement. They will respond. I've seen it happen in people well into their 90s. So tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to make a small promise to your legs. Lie there in bed and just wiggle your toes. Feel that simple motion, the small miracle of nerve endings and blood flow and living tissue that still wants to work for you. Then tomorrow morning, before you even get out from under the covers, do one slow, controlled leg lift, just one, as if to say good morning to the part of you that carries you through life. You don't have to be the fastest walker or the strongest hiker. You just have to be someone who refuses to give up on the joy of moving freely through this world. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. If this message spoke to your heart, if you thought of someone you love who shuffles a little more than they used to, please share this with them. Sometimes the people we care about don't know they're making a mistake until someone gently points it out. And if you'd like to stay connected with more practical, gentle wisdom for aging, well, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. We're building something special here, a community that believes aging isn't about winding down, it's about waking up to what our bodies still can do. Take care of those precious legs, and I'll see you in the next video.